venues and they headlining and nobody, because people don't know them. They're not commercial.
Correct.
They're not commercial. So that's a big, big thing, understanding that, trying to get your music to be on that level if you're really trying to make it. So you learned your lesson firsthand watching the cassette, tapes being thrown in the garbage.
I sure
And how
did.
did that change your outlook on what you had to do moving forward?
It made me that, along with the touring and being able to hang with the people who make the decisions, gave me the insight on what it is or what's really needed to do stuff and to get your stuff out.
Exactly. You learned firsthand, which is a great thing. You had that opportunity.
I was lucky.
Yes.
I was lucky, but most people, they focus on trying to become famous, and
Quick fame.
Famous.
Quick.
What you need to do is work on making a living, and the other thing that I notice, or that I can say, is that the artists, they have to understand that you want to get paid for something, you get paid for a reason.
True.
And the reason why someone hires you is because you bring people.
True.
So if you don't want to sell no tickets, if you don't want to work on bringing people to your event, if you don't want to, you want to get paid and promote, you don't want to promote yourself, then you don't want to make it in this music industry, and you're not going to become famous, because the people that you want to hire you won't hire you unless you can bring people to their event. That's why they're hiring you.
That's part of the whole, thank goodness for the internet, right? Because you can talk to the masses, you can reach the masses, and they listen, they come out. And I think now, like, record companies actually may use the internet to kind of see how your buzz is, so to speak. To how many people are following you, how many people are commenting to your music, are people really receiving your music well? Do they really like it? When you do promote that you're doing a show, do you have packed venues? Like, they look at all those things. It's so hard to get a deal now. So just imagine, like, you pretty much have to walk around video recording everything you do, right?
Absolutely.
To sell yourself, to make somebody want to even sign you and put some money behind you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So that's the only good thing. I guess it was harder back then because you didn't have that.
You didn't have anything.
You didn't have that.
You had to hope and pray and beg and
like, please don't let me walk in here and there be two people out in this audience, you know what I'm saying, I got to perform in front of, right? Like,
true.
Yeah, you don't know.
True. Well, actually, a lot of people came out more, but you were at the mercy of those who were making the decisions.
That is true.
Now it's sort of like, well, if you prove yourself, whether I like what you have or not, it's all about money. Yeah. So if you can bring 1,000 people out, we'll hook you up in the venue with 200 people. We'll pay for your CDs and whatever, and we'll promote you. But once again, these artists don't understand that you have to go out and then take it from there. So I wish someone would say, back then, or even now, I'll take it now, we're going to put a budget behind you, and we're going to put your stuff on every place and put it in every store. And then, I would be in my car, or I'd rent a truck or a bullhorn or something, and I'd go everywhere and promote my music.
Exactly. You won't fall back and let somebody else take charge of your destiny when it comes to what you do.
You have to get out there, and you have to, do your thing. You got to grind.
Very true. Very true. Now, you have your current release, This Is Me. See, y'all. This Is Me. Now, is this how many releases have you done in your career?
This is my second CD, but I had cassettes and stuff. Don't laugh at me.
Again?
I had cassettes. I made cassettes and everything before, because I was on this whole independent stuff. I had a 12-inch on Clarence Music Records that was out while I was touring with New Edition.
Wow.
Where there was a guy going through Europe as me.
Wait, did you know that this was taking place, or did he take it upon himself to become you?
Well, they've took it upon themselves to become me. Not only that, but the track and everything that I was working on while I was flying in and going back and stuff. The guy, we were using a studio that the record company owner used frequently, and he persuaded them to let them mix my unfinished master.
Are you serious? Wow.
So if you anybody get a chance, do a thing on YouTube for Comeback Lover,
Uh-huh.
and I
You'll
got
see
all these.
somebody else?
Well, you'll see my name is on it,
Uh-huh.
and you'll see all kind of stuff from people all over. But that record wasn't supposed to be out because I never even finished it.
Wow. And somebody else
And
is making money.
they
Now,
had to
how do you handle something like that? Do you just let it go, or do you take legal action? Like, what do you do?
Well, you know what? I always believe you got to pay for education. That's an education.
Okay,
You
learning
know,
experience for you.
right? I
Okay.
mean, I recently got my publishing back
Okay.
from that. You know,
Okay.
so I got that. You know, got that back and everything like that. So that was a lesson.
Yeah, definitely.
And if I
Did he make money? Did he get like?
I don't believe that they made a whole lot of money
Okay.
on it, and I believe if they made some money, they would have, they would have,
He would have did the
they
right
would have
thing.
did the right thing.
Okay.
I believe that.
Okay.
But the thing was is that I didn't know that it was there. I came back home to find stacks of records, you know, in his office,
Ooh.
and
With your music.
my music, my name on it.
Oh wow.
You know, I mean, and me as a writer, you know, nothing was taken from me except that I didn't have a contract with him at that time, and you know, and he completed the album or completed the 12-inch.
That is something. Protect yourself. That's another lesson. The music part of it, and learning the industry, promoting yourself. These are all key points that, artists coming into business should really think about as they're coming out.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you on tour, you're busy. This guy's doing his thing, trying to be you while you, doing your thing. And you come back and you made the discovery, and then what was your next move? Like, did you still continue on with your music? You kept moving forward?
Well, yeah, I kept moving forward, and at the time, I, was going back out and stuff, on the tours and things like that. And then, I did run into him one time, and
Did you jack him up? Did you?
no,
Look,
no, no,
I'm only joking, y'all.
no.
Look. We want to get you in trouble. Look, he didn't do anything. He shook his hand.
It wasn't me.
Okay. Ooh, okay, go ahead.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Yeah, you look
I
like a
mean,
gentleman. You would.
I was happy to see him because during the time while I was younger, he was taking me in the studio and all that experience and stuff that I learned in the studio. I really did appreciate that.
Wow. So this was someone close to you that you had a relationship with that did this.
Well,
Isn't
yeah.
that something?
But that's usually the people that's gonna,
Isn't it?
to be able to do it.
Yeah, the ones closest to you.
Sure.
Okay. So then you moved on. You said you got your publishing, you had your label and everything. Now, did you bring out other artists under your label, or was it
Yes.
just you?
No, actually, I have. I had other people and was working on a bunch of projects, but I also have 2 female singers.
Okay.
That's on the label. One is Janae Evans. She's here, from the Bronx.
Okay.
And she has a nice album.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she could
Is
sing.
she still with you today?
Whether she know it or not, she is. But I haven't seen it. Well,
You are. Okay.
I haven't. Well, what it is that I just feel that I need to have something for you to do.
When you reach
I
out.
keep calling
and,
you,
yeah.
and you keep coming, and there's nothing there for you to do. Then it kind of makes you
Like,
not want to
okay.
do it. So
Yeah.
I haven't reached out. But usually
Okay, when something comes,
I call her, and she usually comes. And
Nice.
the other one is Nakia Morgan, which is the same thing. But she was coming from Jersey.
Okay.
And reliable, reliable and stuff. So, and then I had a band, an
Oh,
instrumental band called
nice.
Persuade,
Wow.
and they have a jazz thing. But the songs were written, started out. It was written by a good friend of mine, Michael McRae, and then we kind of hooked up and worked on it, and then got the albums done. So I had to give you a copy of those. I wasn't thinking when I
Yes,
ran
that
out
would be
the
very
house.
nice. I love jazz, and I would love to hear the females sing as well.
I-
All right, so moving along to today, got your new release that's out, and what else are you working on right now? Are you doing shows, or what else is happening with you?
Working on some shows,
Mm-hmm.
working on promoting shows, working on getting some artists on the shows, and
Okay.
networking with the shows. I'm also trying to work on how to get these shows or make these shows successful. Like,
Okay. What
to
are some of the challenges you're having with that?
people.
Okay, that was simple. People not really wanting to give you the venue, or people not
No,
wanting to sign on? Like,
no.
what in particular?
Well, this whole thing, this whole business and stuff is really easy because it's just pretty much common sense, and that's kind of how I deal with everything. That and don't be so serious about everything. But it's literally common sense. If you have a following and people come, then and they feel that is their your performance is up to par, they'd be willing to pay you for it.
True.
And sometimes you have to pay a price to get the people to come see what you're doing so that you can then be lifted to that area where you wanted to be lifted to. So it's hard to get the artist, especially the artist just starting out, to understand that you don't come in demanding earth, wind, and fire, or
Yeah, I understand that.
you don't come in. You may have to work a little bit. No, you got to work hard.
You have to. Yeah.
You have to invest in yourself, because if you went to a business business meeting, and the first thing they're going to say or ask you is, well, how much did you invest in that? Well, I didn't invest anything. Well, why would I invest in it?
Exactly.
You didn't
Make me
invest
want to
anything.
invest. Exactly.
You don't feel good about it. Why would I? So you have to invest in yourself, and you have to, do whatever you can. And then I try to do it in a manner where they can make some real money.
So the artists that you pull in that want to be a part of your showcases and your events, which we're going to talk about this one in a minute,
Okay.
you actually they sell tickets, and they are able to make some revenue off it. I know a lot of people do it like that. They give the artist like a couple of tickets, they sell it, and I really got caught on the point where you said artists coming out, because I deal with a lot of artists that are coming into the business, and then like after 6 months, they're like, oh, okay, I need paid shows. I'm like, just because you got a couple of hits on YouTube, right? That don't mean that you automatically are supposed to be paid. Like, what do you think? Well, it's hard to really say, depending upon what genre of music and where you at with it and everything.
It's
But
real easy.
oh,
What do I think it takes before you can get paid?
exactly.
You got to be able to bring people to the venue.
Number
I
one.
mean, that's primarily
Yeah.
it. I also have some promoter friends and people that I work with and stuff like that. And we had this conversation just recently about, we're going to do an event, and they're telling me that they want fantastic artists on the show. They want artists that's going to, be fantastic.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I don't care if they're fantastic. I want a good show.
Good show.
But I don't care if they're fantastic. You need people in the audience. And if you don't have anybody in the audience,
They could flip, they could do whatever they want, but
they could
they would like somebody
disappear,
to see
they
it,
could
right?
levitate.
Right.
They could do all that stuff, but there's nobody there.
Nobody
and nobody
there.
purchased any tickets, and nobody's at the place. So therefore, you can't, you dumping money in
It's something that's not going to bring you anything in return, pretty
Sure.
much. So that is this has turned into a lesson here.
Oh.
And these are very, very good. And I'm saying this is very good points that people need to hear, because it is a lot of challenges. You do need to have some idea of how to start. Everybody wants to perform. Sometimes you can't find somebody to bring you on, so somebody may need this advice to kind of figure out how to do their own thing. Team up with some people.
You team up with somebody, which that's the one thing that I just
Create
can't
alliances.
get. But
Yeah,
you
create that.
And then what you do is you have to invest in yourself. You might have to put some money in to do something, that you can control.
True.
And then when you do that, like for instance, when I do the performances or the shows, I notice, and this was way back in the day. As an example, I did a show at Symphony Space. And at Symphony Space, it was we're talking 1990. Matter of fact, I have a performance of that on YouTube.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
At Symphony Space, this was 1990. Tickets were $12. It was $12.50. I remember.
50 cents? They had
$12.50. And my only concern was that I needed to work to get the expenses paid.
Oh, okay.
So the deal was that the artist were going to have to sell tickets. And when they sold the tickets, I didn't want any of the money back